Shuffle, shuffle. Shuffle. Rin is shuffling about restlessly, constantly swinging one leg over the other knee, and then back again. She has a very irritated look on her face. Something wrong? Yes. No. Yes. She suddenly hops up on her feet. It's surprising. I thought she was still rendered immobile, but apparently that's not the case. I have to go find Emmy or someone. I need help with something. I can help you. No, it's okay. One of us has to stay here in case something happens. Don't be ridiculous. Nothing even remotely interesting has happened since I came here, except the one guy who dropped a snow cone on his foot. Let me help you, since I'm bored. What is it? Rin's lips flatten tightly against each other, in an almost perfectly horizontal line. She closes her eyes and draws in a deep breath. When she opens her eyelids, the frighteningly stern look in her dark eyes takes me aback. Hisao, you might not want to hear this, or maybe you do, I don't know, but it doesn't matter, and even if you did, you're not leaving me any choice. I'm having my period, and I need some help regarding that. However, I don't feel that our relationship is yet on that level where I could allow you to put my underwear down in the girls' toilet, even if you offer to. I forgot about this part. Man, Rin is crazy. I love her. That's why you should stay here while I go look for Emmy. Blood rushes to my cheeks like the rising tide of my brains trying to desperately search for an answer. But the only thing I can think of is how... that was the most coherent thing I've heard come out of Rin's mouth for these 4 days I've known her. Yes. Not wanting to meet Rin's eyes, I turn my face aside, pretending I'm looking at someone's parents. In the corner of my eye, I see Rin turning on her heel and walking off without further ado. I feel like I'm gonna hide under some rock. I wonder how long Rin will be gone, or if she will return at all. This is the part where you could, like, chill, go do the things that you wanted to do at the festival, but then, like, come back after, like, 10 minutes, or, like, keep your eye on the mural or something. Like, I know it might mean something if you're there when she gets back, but... She does return, eventually, appearing seemingly out of nowhere and then sitting back to where she was, next to my place. I'm back. She says it flatly, like my blunder never happened. I prefer to forget the whole matter as well, so I keep quiet. I don't think she cares, bro. She's very chill. Shadow Rin appears, and there's a fight between Shadow Rin and normal Rin. It's crazy. Sorry. Time passes in standstill. The sun gleams from high above the main building, hits me directly in the eyes, but I just squint instead of moving. In a bit, it becomes painful to keep my eyes open just a little. My temples start aching. My head hurts. I think this day gave me a headache. Can you believe it? Are you hungry? How is that related to a headache? Bro, you get headaches when you're hungry, do you not? It's not. I asked because I am. Aw, yeah, she's asking us out. Her oblivious seriousness melts my irritation with its ridiculousness. And I find the corners of my mouth turning slightly upwards again. You know what? So am I. I'll go get some food for us. What do you want? My treat. Doesn't matter. I'm glad they skipped the part where normally you ask a girl, what do you want? And she's like, I don't know. And then it doesn't matter. And you'd be like, well, it doesn't matter to me. Kind of matters. It's like, you have like a preference. And she's like, no. And you're like, I know you're lying. Sorry. Returning with the food, I give one portion to Rin, taking the other for myself, and we dig in without another word. Rin looks upwards, fork hanging out of the corner of her mouth. Does she... Wow. So she, like, eats with her feet, puts the fork in her mouth, and then, like, leaves it in there. I mean, I guess if she can put it in there, she can take it out, but, like, the idea that she puts it in and then, like, leaves it while she puts her foot down is crazy. What are clouds? I always thought they were thoughts of the sky or something like that, but because you can't touch them. You thought like that when you were a kid? No, last week. Maybe because sometimes my thoughts feel like clouds, fluffy and white and slow. Like the sky was in my mind. Like my mind was the sky. The sky of your mind? Close your eyes and think of the sky. Think of sky. You won't be able to think of anything else until you stop. I'll do this. I mean, if you think about it, you can always think about something until you stop. I try it. It works. Magic? Opening my eyes, I see Rin studying me with her eyes. Feels uncomfortable because she doesn't say anything, and I turn away. Clouds are water. Evaporated water. Don't be such a scientist right now. You know, they say that almost all the water in the world will at some point, if it's oh God, you know, you know that they say, I'm having a stroke. You know that they say that almost all the water in the world will at some point of its existence be part of a cloud. That's crazy. I think I have a water bottle in my desk that's from my freshman year of high school. Who knows how many years ago? Like 10 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I have just a bottle of water that I got from like a band thing. It's a very tiny bottle of water. I just kept it. I'm not gonna pull it out because I'd have to go to the back of the desk, but that water's old and stale, and I probably should let it out, but man, that's never gonna go into another cloud until I do that. Every drop of tears and blood and sweat that comes out of you, it'll be a cloud. All the water inside your body, too. Goes up there sometime after you die. Might take a while, though. Your explanation's better than any of mine, because it's true. That must be it. I carry on eating the food before it gets cold. The wall offers a bit of blessed shade as the sun revolves around the dome of the sky. But the afternoon is already slowly making way for the evening, so our lunch becomes more of a dinner, or whatever the word is for a regular meal like this. Despite what I decide to call it, it certainly hits the spot. I haven't eaten a bit since forever. My appetite filled, I let out a satisfied sigh. Rin hasn't eaten all of hers, but seems to be done with her food as well. I lean back, taking in the atmosphere. The crowd has thinned already, but the activities are still going. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. And why not? It's warm, kind of perfect summery day when it's hot, but not too hot for comfort. That's the best kind of day. I know I normally love cold days, and I'm wearing a fucking beanie. Like, it's a cold day. I love cold days more just because I like putting on layers and feeling warm and comfortable and having the option to take them off and get really cool again. But I will say that there's a primal joy in a nice summer day that isn't too hot because everything's just nice. There is no discomfort. Anyway, we've been sitting here for 6 hours. Yes, we have. Do you want to do something else now? No, not really. Me neither. She adjusts her position and leans against the wall. I follow her lead, relaxing my own body. This is really cute. And like for no exact reason. It's just the act of being so comfortable with somebody. I don't know, it's just such a cute thing. For minutes on end, we sit there without saying a word. Trying to feel Rin's mood from her demeanor. The tension of her muscles, the tiny expressions fleeting on her face. It's no use. She's unreadable as always. The crowd swells to and fro, people happily chattering with each other. Very few people pay real attention to the mural, and less even to us. I fiddle with a few odd pebbles absent-mindedly. The act of doing nothing just for the sake of doing nothing. The pinnacle of idleness. I know this, sorry, I'm taking a really long time because I have a lot of anecdotes, but I used to sit every lunch break or every like recess in middle school from like 7th grade, 8th grade. All we would do is just sit and do nothing. Like, it was so nice. There's just something chill about like just sitting down and doing nothing for like a while. I mean, I guess you could say I did that all of high school as well, just kind of sitting there chilling. But I don't know. There's something really nice about just literally doing nothing. I wish I could go back to times like that and not feel guilt. Inch by inch, the sun creeps lower and lower towards the tree line, changing the color of the sky close to the horizon from golden yellow to orange and red as the moment of sunset draws near. I feel like my stomach is filled with lead after eating so heavily, but the brick wall feels surprisingly comfortable against my back. I try to fight against the drowsy feeling that's overwhelming me, to no avail. Take a nice rest. Oh yeah, the fireworks. I wake up with a start. A low boom reverberates through the school grounds. After images of bright sparks flash through my vision like stars. Something rises from the skies in the direction of the sports field. tail of fire trails behind them with a burst of red and yellow flame lights. Wow. I was doing so well. I didn't want to mention it, but I was doing really well, and I'm failing. The sky, high above the school, with another loud boom. Fireworks. The sudden flash of light against the canvas of the night sky awakens me to realize that it's actually dark already. How long did I sleep? I feel groggy and can't feel my right arm. As I attempt to flex it, I realize why. He's sleeping on my arm. Rin is leaning heavily against my shoulder, almost falling on my lap. She is fast asleep, not even fazed by the fireworks. Her mouth is slightly open and her eyes are peacefully closed. The sleeping, childlike face of the innocent. I shake Rin gently with my free arm, trying to wake her up. Failing that, move her so that my other arm is liberated from its pinch. Just get your arm around her, have her head on your chest. It's gonna feel great, Hisao, trust me. Rin's face twitches and her eyelids shut tighter, as if to resist against waking up. She gradually opens her eyes, but keeps them half closed, letting the light from the fireworks sneak just past her eyelashes, so that her green irises mirror the bright flashes of the explosions, then looks up at me and frowns. Just a while longer. Okay. Rin's voice is drowsy and slow, leaving her almost unintelligibly muttered words hanging lazily in the air. Seems like she's not entirely aware of the situation. Rin's head drops back on my shoulder as she leans against me with all her weight. She snuggles against my side, trying to make herself comfortable, but making me feel very uncomfortable at the same time. That's how you're such a prude. I become intensely, almost painfully aware of Rin's warm body and the deep, peaceful moment in her chest against my arm, her breathing soon returning to the even rhythm. Can't help admiring her gift for sleeping, or the ease of mind of hers to use someone else she's known for less than a week as a pillow. The rockets rise up to the sky, one at a time, breaking into flowers of red, green, and gold, accompanied by the oohs and ahs of the audience. I try to push Rin's disconcerting proximity out of my mind for what I can do about for what can I do about it? Such a weird way to say that. I just hope her short while really is that. I just hope her short while is really is that. One by one, the glittery bursts are born and die in the blink of an eye, coloring the dark night sky into a constantly changing abstract painting. I listen to the low booms of the explosions and Rin's quiet breathing, trying to clear her own head of the post-awakening disorientation. Thankfully, just a while longer really proves to be just a while, as Rin stirs from her slumber and wakes up again before the fireworks are over. I fell asleep. She finally opens her eyes completely and blinks a few times. Fell asleep on top of me. Twice. You didn't like it? Well. Despite the inconclusive stammering, Rin sits upright, drawing herself away from me. Well, you are heavy. It's a lie. She weighs next to nothing, but I have to get a jab back at her, even if it's under the belt. My mock protest fails to draw any reaction as Rin's attention is drawn upwards to the flashes of the fireworks. She seems hypnotized by the colorful play of explosions. A slight tingling sensation goes up and down my arm as the blood starts to circulate again. It's unpleasant, but it helps get rid of the dizzy feeling. More and more rockets rise up to the sky, the bright colors of the explosions reflecting from the clouds. Both of us stare at the fireworks fixedly through the canopy of the trees, enthralled by the show. We would get a vastly better view of the sky if we moved even a couple of yards, but neither of us bothers to even suggest it. I really do like fireworks, even though looking at them makes me feel kind of sad, I think. It's like they want you to look at them so bad that they're loud and bright, but when someone looks, they're already gone. It's like they weren't even real. They are real. I can tell you that. All of this is real, you know? If you think about it, nothing really lasts for long. Even something like my life or yours is just the blink of an eye in the history of everything. Like one of those rockets. Poof. And we're gone. But we're here, aren't we? Yeah. This is reality. Rin sitting next to me, the loud bangs of the fireworks, the vast, unlimited sky. These things are definitely real, even though they won't stay here forever. I feel warm inside. I wonder if it's because Rin is so close to me, or just the feeling of being alive. I don't really know what I should say next. It's alright. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. But you know, fireworks are pretty. But in the end, isn't it somehow silly to spend so much money on a fraction of a second worth of pretty sparkles? Rin, how do you go from like, she's like, man, fireworks like barely should exist, and then you're like, no, see, everything's like a firework, bro. Like, it's good, it's great that everything's a firework, and then you go to like, but why would you spend so much money on them? It sounds like you were in favor of them, and then you weren't. Rin rips her gaze off the still-going spectacle and leans backwards, looking at me with a repulsed face. Well, I never expected you to be such a cynic. Cynic is a pretty harsh word. Rather than that, I think of myself as a realist. Isn't a realist just the word for what a cynic calls himself? The final rocket goes out with a bang of silver and blue, leaving the grounds eerily silent for a moment until the crowd starts moving towards the main gate like cattle herd. Wisps of gray smoke drift toward the dorms from the sports field. The pungent, sulphurous smell of gunpowder it carries feels like it sticks to my hair and clothes. Was that it? I think so. I stand up and stretch my sore back. Sleeping against a brick wall wasn't such a good idea after all. Rin stands up, as well as turns to face me, with an expectant gaze on her tired features. Although she seems to have trouble focusing her eyes, I wonder how hard. Sorry, I know I keep going off, but I wonder how hard it is to like get up without using her arms. I mean, I guess that she has like her back leaned against the wall, but like, you know that I remember that being like a challenge or something, right? To like get up without using your arms. Sorry, maybe she uses like her stubs on the wall. I need to stop talking. She's looking straight at me, something I feel has not occurred too often in the past week. So. I suddenly realize we've been almost on a date here, as if by accident, but if we really did nothing. But it wasn't, so why is blood rushing to my cheeks and my speech stammering? Because you love her, sir. I don't know what I should say, especially since it seems Rin is waiting for me to say something. Luckily, she solves my problem for me. Good night, Isao. She gives me one more lingering look, measuring me up from tip to toe, turns around on her heel and skips off, disappearing into the crowd. Okay. Good night. I'm left standing there, given my response to the cooling night air. Sigh. The festival turned out to be nothing like I expected. I ended up spending all day in one spot with Rin, even though neither of us agreed nor suggested that we do anything. I just didn't have anything better to do, and evidently, neither did she. Rin's warmth lingers for a while longer on my body before disappearing in the failing night, falling.